All right, we're back. Yes, the Gold Cup is upon us, and we kicked it off with our friends Mexico, and they came out of the chute and they weren't great, and they ended up only getting a 0-0 result. Who did they play, Mosse, again? I forgot.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Excuse me. And you watch that game, and that's not a good result. That's not a good result for the favorites of this tournament to start off like that. And in the game, they weren't able to score. Loss of Chucky Lozano, and we're thankful that it wasn't worse, to be quite honest, but he is out for the tournament with facial lacerations and all sorts of stuff, and it looked horrible in the moment, and I'm just so glad that there's no neck or let's be honest, brain damage from that moment. But he is out for the tournament, so that's a big loss for Mexico, and they start out the tournament with only a point. So we'll see what they come up with going forward in this tournament. I still think that they are the favorite. When it comes to the U.S., they start off the tournament with a win against Haiti. It was not one that instills a tremendous amount of confidence or belief in this group. But sometimes in tournaments, it's a slow burn. And you come out in the first game and you still get a win. That's ultimately the most important thing. Having said that, this is, and let's be honest, this is a team that is being looked upon with plenty of skepticism when it comes to their ability to have success in this Gold Cup, especially against the likes of Mexico and even people looking at it in Canada. This is a team that's never played together before, that Greg Berhalter has put out there. And so this is a group that is coming together, and hopefully they will grow through the tournament. When we came on air for the beginning of this tournament, I said, this is a team that has to prove to us that they are worthy of our attention and of our support and of our belief. They have to make us believe. And, it was a win, and so well done, but I'm not sure that anybody that was skeptical has changed their tune after this result. And I haven't necessarily changed my tune. I still am cautiously optimistic that they will grow in, and we will see this team come together and find an identity and one that we can hold on to and be excited about. But it's early days. Ultimately, a goal from Sam Vines, the left back, was the deciding factor against Haiti, a Haiti team that was plucky, that was resilient, that asked some questions of the U.S. I thought when it comes to players who were good, Kellen Acosta, I thought was really good. I thought that Walker Zimmerman, especially his distribution out of the back, and just his kind of composure and the way that he inhabited that type of position, I thought was good. Matt Turner, who a lot of people are looking in goal, did what he needed to do. We know he's not the greatest with his feet, which could be a problem going forward, but he's there to stop shots, which he did, gets the clean sheet. Let's see, Shaq Moore, who came in for an injured Reggie Cannon, who before the game we found out he was injured. He wasn't going to start. I thought he had a good day at right back. Daryl Dike did not start, and I know that was disappointing to a lot of folks, including myself, that want to see him, but he did come in later on in the game. I thought that the insertion of him and Buzio were, changed a little bit of the complexion of the game, and it would not surprise me in the least if Gianluca Buzio is not a starter going forward, given the way that he came in and the composure for a 19-year-old and the way that he ran that midfield from deep. So all in all, a good result, but not, once again, anything that is going to change a lot of minds or win over a lot of hearts and minds when it comes to the way that this team, at least now, is being looked at relative to winning this Gold Cup. Is that a pretty clear and accurate assessment?
Absolutely, yeah. What was interesting to me is Berhalter started the most experienced lineup he could from the players that he brought to this tournament. But that did mean that for a squad where he already left out some of the U.S.'s best players, He then left on the bench some of the players that people are most excited to watch at this tournament, like DK and Buzio and Eric Williamson. And so, yeah, I mean, the first half was a little bit of a slog. I mean, it was an exciting game, but slog in the sense that there weren't that many players on the field that I was going to learn anything new about and so it was really in the second half when Buzio came on and DK and Williamson and James Sands I kind of perked up a little bit because it was like, okay, now we're talking. These are the guys that I really kind of had circled at this tournament that I really want to see play. And so we'll see what lineups he puts out moving forward, but hopefully we get to see more of those guys I just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you could just sense, even though you couldn't hear it, you could sense the collective groans when the lineup came out, especially when, Gyasi Zardes is up top. And, as I said on air, he is the Rodney Dangerfield of this U.S. national team in that he doesn't get, I think, the respect that he deserves. I think that there are a lot of people that just have either ignored or just given up on what he is. And to your point, we know pretty much what he is, but Greg Berhalter also knows what he is. And I think that Greg Berhalter sees a value in the consistency that he gives. Now, where that comes in terms of a level, and why is this important? Because when you look around, there are a few glaring openings right now. One is that number 9 position, which we still haven't filled. And that's why a lot of people were excited and continue to be excited to see what Daryl Dike is going to do. I also think that there's a center back position next to John Brooks and some other things, because look, while we talk about, the talent and the team, for example, that we saw in Nations League, what happens when one or multiple of those players are hurt? Or what happens if they're not doing the job? They play a qualifier and they're bad and they're not getting the job done. You're going to need other people. And so assessing that is, I think, really, really important. And there will be players that we see here, some that jump off the screen to us and say, yeah, that's a real possibility. And some that don't, that are going to show up in World Cup qualifying, that are going to start and that are going to star. And by the way, are going to do the same thing next November and December in Qatar for the World Cup. And I think that's why it's important to watch this team. And if I was a member of this team, you do to a certain extent have nothing to lose because there are lowered expectations relative to this group. But I also think you got so much to gain if and when you play well, either individually or collectively, you come together as a group and ignite an interest out there in the same way that we saw the group that did it in Nations League. So, we'll see if they progress and evolve and get better. They are going to play Martinique. The U.S. is going to play Martinique next, and that is not a team that is as good as Haiti. And so I think there's going to be an opportunity for a lot more joy, a lot more attack, and a lot more goals, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're playing better, but I think that there is, once again, that opportunity going forward.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.